brain, though.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
If y'all heard that echo, that's because we ready to go. It's your boy, Arnizzle, here on the PodBoi _podcast, along with a lot of Vicks Vapor Rub, because Savannah obviously can't make a sound.
Savannah.
And
It's Savannah.
Robbie.
Bobbert.
Yep.
And...
Oh, you usually introduce me, so I was just going to be quiet.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, you're not getting introduced now, so no one knows who you are.
Alright.
Congrats.
The honorary
Ryan, you've been sweating.
person. No,
Just wondering.
Robbie
That'd
has.
be me.
He just got done working out.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Honestly, I
this is awkward, but we're on the fly.
Vicks the sweat.
So let's start out by talking about the coaching
It
searches.
still might be Ryan because I don't smell myself.
Oh man. Anyways,
Me.
USC.
All I can smell is Vicks.
guys, this is
I'm
cringe.
sorry.
This is cringe as hell. Alright. Maybe I
It's
should
just
just
cringe
restart.
because
No.
you feel like you're getting roasted. He's going into panic mode.
Okay. You know who's going into panic mode? Clay Helton. My man, USC got a new AD. He said that Clay Helton is still being observed. But this man's fired, basically. Because Urban's going to be the coach. Y'all see...
And then in 5 years, he's going to fake heart problems again.
Do y'all see any chance that Urban Meyer is not the head football coach of USC next year?
I would probably be more surprised if he wasn't.
I think I would be too. Well, how about you?
I think he's only gone to either two places if he ever comes back, and it's USC or Notre Dame.
Or TCU.
Nope.
Hell no.
TCU will literally never fire Gary Patterson.
Well, he'd be an offensive coordinator for us.
Why would he do that?
Just for the giggles, honestly. He's a good Christian man.
Hey, just think, if they do get Urban Meyer, they could finally get a 5-star because he knows how to recruit.
Okay, shut the hell up.
Wasn't JT Daniel the top one? Or, oh, you're talking about TCU, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
TCU.
With that slander, let's go to the slander Deion Sanders, who is rumored to be a top coach of Florida, coaching option of Florida State, despite never coaching as a head coach anywhere.
Well, it can't get worse at Florida State, so I mean, they might as well try it out.
I mean, they could go south to Miami.
I'll literally come to your house right now and kill you.
Dang.
Because I'm black. You see, you know, as a black person.
Yeah, hate crime. Alright, but do y'all think, before this gets too crazy, do y'all think that the Deion Sanders hire would be inspired by the likes of, let's say, like the Penny Hardaways? Atwood, what are you doing?
I'm good.
Like, you don't usually see it in football as much as like basketball, where you get players that just come and take over. But do you think that maybe they're trying to get recruits that saw Deion?
Hey, hold on. Other than Penny Hardaway, what other coaches have done that?
Well, Jerry Stackhouse is now.
Yeah.
I just got not the 17.
And, I mean, it happens a lot more in, like, the NBA, where you get players...
Jason Kidd.
Yeah, Jason Kidd.
Magic Johnson did it. He was a bad
He was a
coach.
coach?
Yeah, he was.
When he was owner or GM?
No, look it up. Back in the day.
It happens in baseball, too. And hockey. Wayne Gretzky literally coached a team.
Alex Cora, the manager for the Red Sox, he was a player.
Half the football coaches used to play, or half the football coaches used to play football.
Okay, other than Vrabel. Anyways. But, also, you could look at it in the way of, like, Arizona State's success with Herm Edwards. A lot of kids saw Herm Edwards on TV. They don't even remember Herm Edwards as a coach. And Arizona State's actually quite successful right now. So, I don't know. I feel like the social media era kind of inspires, is part of the reason that Florida State is going after Deion.
You're gonna be mad.
I think it's going to be a
bad.
bad
Might as
idea.
well be a meme.
I think
They
it's
just
going to
need
be
to
bad.
hire Mark Stoops.
Atwood, I hate to tell you this, But I don't know that Kentucky can do better than Mark Stoops.
He's really not that good.
Atwood, when is the last time Kentucky won 10 games? I'll wait.
Okay, he's done it 1 year. When's the last time someone started 5-0 and lost for a season? He's had way too much talent to have multiple mediocre seasons.
Hold on.
Dude, but he's brought that talent.
And done nothing with it.
He won 10 games.
1 year.
He's probably got the most.
God.
Speaking of this, while Robbie looks up what he's. Stoops probably has the most coach-friendly contract in the entirety of college football. If he wins 7 games, he's automatically got a 1-year extension. If he wins 10 games, he's automatically got a 2-year extension. Rick Stockstill.
Rick Stockstill has had multiple 8-4 seasons and 7-5 seasons. And they signed this man for another 5 years, and he's about old as shit. I'm like, why
He's got a
would you do
$6
that?
million buyout.
Okay, Bear
Why?
Bryant.
We cannot afford a $6 million buyout, and PSU cannot.
Bear Bryant was 60-23 as the head coach at Kentucky. Let me see.
Are you trying to say that Mark Stoops is Bear Bryant?
No.
He's saying that no one's going to be that successful at
I'm saying that
Kentucky.
Mark Stoops leaving Kentucky is probably the worst thing to happen
No.
to Kentucky since Bear Bryant left. Okay, well let's say this, Atwood. Bear Bryant won 60 games. Mark Stoops has been the head coach for 5 years? Yeah.
Think you got there.
He is second or third. He's third all time in Kentucky's wins.
Okay. I mean, Luke Jones did a little stint where he won 9 games, but
Kentucky is bound to be mediocre in the entirety of all of college football for the rest of eternity. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
It's a basketball school. It's never going to be a football school.
Winning 8 to 10 games at Kentucky is good.
It's a decent season. That's
And-
what you could expect.
and I don't think Vanderbilt's good by any means, but I don't think Derek Mason's a bad coach based
No, I
on what he's
think
doing at Vanderbilt.
They're going to screw up if they fire Derek Mason because, okay, you had James Franklin, but that was just, you lucked out, and then he was good, and he jumped ship as soon as he...
In Derek Mason's defense, and I think it would get him hired really fast anywhere else if he got fired. Vanderbilt probably has some of the strictest policies on anything. They've they're going in with 2 quarterbacks that have barely no experience because their starting quarterback has been on concussion protocol for weeks, and just because of the way their protocol is.
Well, and Vanderbilt can't really recruit top talent either
Yeah,
because
but
their
just-
academics are so strict. It's the same thing at Georgia Tech.
They're here to play football, not play.
School.
Play school? Yeah.
Speaking of Georgia Tech, I did not realize this. Another thing that really hurts Georgia Tech in recruiting, one is the fact that they only have 1 or 2 majors. They're really
Yeah.
in on that engineering stuff. But 2, it is 75% men
I see a fucking ladybug.
there. It's 75% men on the campus.
Them football players ain't trying to go there.
Those guys are not trying to go there.
I've always said, if you're being recruited, why would you not go to, a party school with, lots of women and lots of drinking? Why would you not do that? Live your life. They're going to scrape by your grades. They're gonna put you through.
Well,
And play
Gronk
football.
said it
you gotta
best.
think if you're hungover all the time, you're not going to play good. You don't play good, you don't get drafted.
It's alright, it'd be Alex Moran. Be a backup quarterback your entire life.
Gronk said it best. When his dad asked him why he went to Arizona State, he said, if you ever went to one of those pool parties, you'd understand.
See, I would go to, Florida State or, Texas A&M or...
The last place I would go is BYU.
That's a hot take.
I don't feel like it's that hot of a take.
That's a pretty hot take.
What's your
Oh, you
reasoning
can have
behind that
multiple
being
wives, my guy.
bottom?
You first. I did it. You gotta go like on mission trips.
Well, first of all, who the fuck wants to live in Utah? Just first of all.
I mean, it's beautiful country.
I swear to you, I don't know what's in Utah.
Not shit.
Provo.
I don't know anything in Utah.
You got Provo. You got Salt Lake City.
You probably have to go to like all
Yeah.
these like chapel stuff for like Mormons and
Hell.
like if you get caught
Okay,
with alcohol
I
on
get you.
campus, you like get kicked out. Like
I would say Callie had like a few game ban, but she got, or somebody posted a picture of them on Snapchat. She goes to Tribeca.
I would not go to BYU. Not a chance.
All right. Well,
What game's first?
speaking of BYU, we're not picking them. We've got. Let's start with the worst.
Let me-
Tennessee
Let me
versus
just give
Kentucky.
a little
This is
fact here.
this is the battle of retards.
We don't have any of these written down, so we're going, off the snap on all of these. So if any of our picks sound dumb as shit, it's because we did not plan this out
Off the
too well.
snap. That
That
probably
was
sounded
probably
like.
loud
that
as
was-
shit.
That probably gave you brain cancer. All right. We got 4-4 Tennessee. Oh, 4-5. My bad.
Check
I'm
Travel-
pretty sure the game is even too. Last time I checked.
Traveling to 4-4 Kentucky.
Kentucky's up. They're back to a 1-point
Ass
favorite.
versus ass.
Over under's 42, but I would say that if it reaches 42, there's going to be a lot of defensive touchdowns because these teams are trash. Which I guess it would only be 21 each. So,
Yeah.
This still may not happen.
I think Kentucky wins, and Stoops shows why he's such a great coach. Okay, I'm just kidding. I think Tennessee's got more talent, and I think they're kind of clicking a little bit now. So I think Tennessee breezes past these scrubs. That's final pick.
Let me just preface this by saying, fuck Kentucky, and I'm just saying that for Atwood. I'm going to have to pick Tennessee here. I say they're going to go hard on Kentucky.
What did he just say?
He
He
said
said
Miami's
mine's overrated.
You gotta be good
I
to
don't
be
think
overrated.
anyone's
You're not even
overrated.
ranked.
Country.
All right, before we get into the top 25 picks, maybe I should have done this
Robbie
earlier.
even get a pick this game?
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Man, that would just fuck us.
I think we know who y'all are taking, but Robbie, you know.
Golly.
I got UT by 17.
Jesus.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Well, last year Kentucky was number 11 and we beat them 24-7.
Fair enough.
That's good.
And they're worse this year and they don't have a quarterback, so 17.
Hey, we got one of the best secondaries.
Oh, it's a good thing we don't really throw the ball that much.
So do the Titans, but you see how trash they are.
Yeah.
So what?
I said, so do the Titans, but you see how trash they are.
See, but the Titans are just trash in general.
Our defense is stacked. All right, make your pick.
I said this at work today. I'm going with Tennessee by 21.
You said mine was a hot take.
Are you serious?
Mark Stoops sucks.
No.
I thought you said that their secondary was so good.
You were
Okay,
roasting him.
there's
He's like, but
two
wait.
defense in the secondary.
I wanna eat this
Jesus.
shit so bad.
After the poll.
Tennessee's gonna win. That's all that matters here.
All right.
We have a, what's it called? We all picked the same one. What's
Unanimous.
the word I'm trying to
Unanimous decision.
Unanimous. I want to say conspicuous, and I was like, that's,
That's not
not
it.
even close.
All right, so, Atwood, what are you doing?
How about you shut up and just talk? How about that?
My brain's running at about 20% right now, if I'm being completely honest.
So, before we get into the games that have top 25 teams in it, I know that we've all seen the college football playoff top teams. And yes, it's very early, and unless it changed last year, I don't think that any of the teams that were in the top four I don't think it's ever all four of those teams have made it to the final playoff. So, do y'all see anything wrong with the top four leaving Clemson out? Or would you have changed your picks?
I mean, I don't really have a problem with them leaving Clemson out because Clemson's not played that great this year.
They've not played great, but it's kind of hard to drop them out when they're undefeated.
I think it's criminal that Georgia is ranked higher than Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Well, Oklahoma took the L last week.
Yeah, Georgia lost a fucking...
I would say Oregon's
South
better than
Carolina.
Georgia.
Okay, but Oklahoma lost to a 5-2 Kansas State.
Well, it's Kansas State.
They're
trash.
5-2.
Hey, they're 6-2 now.
Yeah. Georgia
They're 6-2.
Georgia lost to 3-5 South Carolina.
I think it's criminal that they've got Minnesota at number 17.
Yeah, they were number 13 in like the coaches poll or whatever, the AP poll.
They're playing them.
Sorry, South Carolina's 4-5, but still.
All right,
The same South Carolina team that Tennessee beat by 3 touchdowns.
and I didn't realize that. I went back and looked some at Penn State. I didn't realize like they've been dominating. Well, they're really good this year. But I feel like we say that Ohio State and Penn State are really good every year, and they end up choking. But
I don't feel like Penn State's been talked about as much this year, though, considering how well they've been doing.
I do think Ohio State is better than past years.
Yes.
Like,
I don't know. There's a lot of times I think Ohio State, they're actually a real deal this year. And then
this
they're not.
year, I think they are.
A lot of people are saying that about Oklahoma if they beat Texas too. But
Yeah, but Ohio State actually has a defense, and Oklahoma has no defense. There's no defense played in the Big 12.
I still think when Ohio State spanks Penn State University, they're going to fall out.
Oh, when Penn State does?
No, when Ohio State beats Penn State.
Who's going to fall out?
Penn State.
Oh, that's an obvious.
Why would Ohio State fall out?
I
if
would
they
say if they beat the number 4 team,
If they beat them, they're obviously going to fall out. You know, before you get too crazy with this, let's get to the top game of the week. At Yankee Stadium,
Yes, sir.
we got Princeton at Dartmouth, or versus Dartmouth. Tickets as low as $51 on Vivid Seats.
Don't even have the spread.
You don't need them when you got this prime time of a matchup. You see Princeton coming off a big win against Cornell.
Wasn't it 9-6?
What?
Wasn't it 9-6 or was that
Oh, that was Dartmouth at Harvard.
okay.
9-6.
They won on a Hail Mary.
And they won 59-24 against Columbia. So they're able to score some points. I don't know what happened against Harvard, but looking at it,
Your sound effects just cracked me up. You made like 5 within about 10 seconds there.
Princeton
And got no more words
Princeton
out.
dropped 65 on Brown. So I think Princeton's a more complete team. I put my money on Princeton in this one. So
Sounds good, Princeton.
Roberts.
I'm going Dartmouth
Okay.
because they just find a way to win. Like the Hail Mary last week.
I sleep couldn't name you one player, and
Nope.
I'm looking right now, and I couldn't even find a roster. So
To be honest, I missed most of that conversation. Don't know anything about it. Can't use my phone because we have Tyler on the line on it. So
Atwood, who you got?
Princeton's higher, baby.
Okay, 3 Princetons, 1 Dartmouth.
you know
Dartmouth.
what? I'll change to Dartmouth. We'll split it 50-50 because I don't know.
There's absolutely no reason behind any of these picks. We're just flipping
I'm
the
just
coin.
saying stuff.
What do you mean there's no reason? Princeton's always been my favorite out of the league. So.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, sure.
Why would Princeton be your favorite Ivy League school? There's so many other ones that are so much cooler.
I mean, you got University of Penn. That's not. They're kind of good.
What about Cornell?
Like Andy.
No, see, Andy went to Cornell. Not a fan.
There's Harvard where my boy Fitzmagic went.
And Jeremy Lin.
Yeah.
Princeton?
And someone else went to Harvard. I saw that. Oh, I think it was my boy Juszczyk,
No idea.
my fullback.
Fullback.
Oh.
Yeah, he went to Harvard. That's a great NFL talent out of Harvard. All right. So I'm only doing this because we're about to upset a ranked team for the second time this year. TCU hosts Baylor,
False.
number 12, undefeated. They travel to
I
the
did
fort.
not realize Baylor was doing that good this year. Oh my gosh.
They travel to the fort.
Are they still under probation?
No,
They're not?
no.
I guess it has been a while.
Get this achievement about.
They travel to the fort, and they're only a 2.5 point favorite, despite being 8-0. We're 4-4. I think we pull off the upset again because I'm still mad about hearing 61-58 all the time from when they beat us a few years ago, which ended up costing us the national championship. Because let's be real, we were winning the college football playoff that year. So TCU out of anger. So now who you got?
Honestly, just to be a tool, I'm going to pick TCU. I think they'll pull off some kind of crazy upset. Gary's going to light a fire under their asses or something.
Bobbert.
I am going with Baylor because TCU's so poo-poo,
Okay.
and Baylor's going to keep on rolling. Bear down, even though that's Arizona's thing.
I was about to say, that's Arizona.
Which doesn't make any sense because
Oh,
they're
it
the
makes sense. I
Wildcats.
looked it up once.
Well, we all know, but still doesn't make that much sense.
All right, Atwood.
I'm gonna have to side with old Robbie this time and go Baylor Bears.
A
All right.
logical decision.
Green means go, and green, they're gonna go.
All right.
And we've been over this.
They're gonna put up about 52 on
TCU has the worst mascot in college football, so
Okay.
I actually kind of like it. It's cool. It's different.
horny toads.
All right. So
They
Yeah.
bleed, the coolest thing is that they bleed out of their eyes. That's pretty cool.
They have the dumbest chant, so that's the reason they're gonna lose.
TCU bleeds out of their eyes because they get beat so bad every week.
I somehow know that whole chant, and I don't remember learning it.
all right.
We watched that video, and I honestly think that
No, I think Ryan brainwashed me at some point, and so now I just know this.
All right. Here we go, guys. Well, before we do it, I don't want to talk about the horny toads and then go straight to this. So this is a little bit different type of pick. Clemson travels to North Carolina State, and they're a 32.5 point favorite. Do you think they beat them by more just because they're mad? Or do you think they beat them by less because they haven't been blowing teams out this year?
We'll beat them by more. I feel like that's gonna fire them out last week. Well,
That's kind of my take as well.
they're gonna start getting serious about it, I think, and start showing out a little bit more.
I think Clemson will beat them by more because ever since they almost shit the bed against North Carolina, they've won 45-14, 45-10, 59-7, and 59-14. So I think since they almost laid an egg, they've been playing a lot better. So
What do you say?
I'm gonna say they're gonna cover because I mean, Clemson is still Clemson. No matter which way you look at it, they're one of the best teams in the nation. I think they're better than Penn State. Now the top three, that's debatable.
Let's say if you say Ohio State, that's a hot take. I think Ohio State might be the best team in the country.
Well, they are ranked number one.
Yeah, I know they're ranked number one, but I don't. That's probably who I would have at number one.
See, I would have LSU.
I would take LSU number one also.
They're really the only proven team out of the top three.
I really want to. I would love for the Final Fours to have been Ohio State versus Georgia and Oklahoma versus Alabama.
And
That would have been
if
hilarious.
Oklahoma somehow got back into the playoff, I hope they play Alabama and Jalen Hurts throws for like 500 yards and 7 touchdowns.
I mean, he does that against everybody, so it would be. This is a walk in the park for him.
Yeah, but I especially wanted to do it to Alabama because fuck Nick Saban.
All right.
Hey,
Speaking.
you better watch out. You're talking about the president's friend over there.
I don't care.
Hey, speaking.
He's going to build a wall around your house.
Hey, speaking of the president's friends, the Trojans are traveling to Tempe to take on the Arizona State University Sun Devils.
Can Arizona State rank?
No. USC is 5-4 and Arizona State is 5-3. Arizona State is a 1.5 point favorite. But the Sun Devils, they're used to using their pitchfork and just shoving however they want. Multiple penetrations per se. I think that this trident is going to pierce through the Trojans, causing a little leakage. Caden Slovis been hurt a little bit this year. I don't know if he's going to be that good. I'm taking Arizona State. That's my take. What do you say, Savannah?
Sounds good.
Okay, I guess Savannah's taking Arizona State. Ruining the fun with the
Savannah's
USC
out.
joke.
She's playing Fortnite.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
So we're about to do.
I think she needs to go to rehab. I think she
I
has
think
a
she
problem.
does too. Next week, live on the pod, we'll have an
We're gonna have
intervention.
an intervention.
Intervention.
Robbie, who you got?
The Trojans are made out of rubber. They're getting busted this week.
Well, I'm taking USC, I guess. Yeah. Gotta pick the Trojans.
Do you have? All right. You think of a joke for USC beating the Sun Devils, and we'll come back to you. Atwood, who you
I
got?
don't have any jokes, honestly.
Any coach who don't know their own mascot definitely always gonna win.
Yeah, I mean he don't focus on the mascots. He focuses on the X's and O's.
He's Catholic. He ain't worried about that. He ain't worried about no Sun Devils.
All right.
We know you gotta watch out for the Catholic people.
Shut up. All right, so we're at our last two games, and I think this week we'll save that just means more for the last. So it's gonna get big for a second. Number 4 Penn State travels to number 17 Minnesota. Tickets as low as $63 at TCF Bank Stadium.
Road trip.
It's a good deal to see the Gophers, the Golden Gophers. I'm going to take... this is hard because I want to take my boy Sean Clifford because I play with him on Madden now. But I think I'm going to take Minnesota. They haven't really had to prove themselves this year. But the same could also be said a few years ago about Western Michigan, and I think PJ Fleck is that good of a coach that he can get his players inspired, and I think he knows how to game plan for this situation. So I'm going to take Minnesota by a walk-off field goal.
It's such an intense.
Row the boat, baby. He's rowing the boat in the land of 1,000 lakes. It can't get any better. Savannah, who you got? Minnesota or Penn State? 2 undefeateds, heavyweights.
I honestly think Penn State's just better this year. So, Penn State for me.
I think PJ and the boys are going to be rowing the heck out of that boat this week, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Penn State by 10.
They might be rowing the other direction. And what are you doing?
I'm going to have to stick with old James.
Franklin,
James Franklin.
the bald wonder. Let's see. Oh, game of the week. Speaking of James,
I already picked the game of the week.
The real game of the week.
it just means more. It just means more, Atwood.
You really can't beat Preston.
If the president is at this game, it just means more. If they have to change the way they sing Dixieland a lot, it just means more.
Which I just want to point out
That's
that
not
Dixieland
about
Delight is a song about Tennessee, and Alabama sings it because they're fucking morons.
They are stupid. Sure.
Tickets as low as $227 for this game.
Yikes.
LSU, Alabama. Alabama is a 6-point favorite, which I would honestly say that this game should be even, because I don't think Tua is 100%. I've heard this stat a couple times, but Tua had the same injury last year,
It was on the other ankle, though.
and the timeline that he came back when he played Oklahoma, it was 1 week after, like, longer than this time. And they said that he was like 80% at that point. So it makes me wonder, like, he's probably got to be at like 66 or that percent. I don't know how you come up with those numbers, but I just don't know that he's going to be that effective. I'm going to take LSU. It's obviously hard to go in Bryant Denny, but I think Joey Burrow's got it. And I'm just really excited to see what Coach O has to say after the game.
You won't be able to
I'm
understand
not going to understand it, but it's going to have some passion to it. So who you got?
I think I'm going to take LSU. I think they're better than Alabama this year. And I am honestly just excited to see the game regardless. So.
Are you excited to see the game, or are you more excited to get a dub on Fortnite while the game's going on in the background?
I'm for sure going to be playing Fortnite while it's on, but still excited about it.
Cancel.
Oh my god.
I get multiple wins a day at this point. I can't stop. I had 5 people spectating a win last night. I've never felt more alive in my life.
I think it's
All right,
time
Buddha.
I think it's time for an intervention.
Savannah has a problem. This time last year, Savannah was like, Ryan, you can't game. Now I'm like, Savannah, stop, please.
He doesn't tell me to stop. He's like, let me get on and play with you. He's an enabler.
Ron, you're part of the problem.
Robbie Baker. It's the only time I can talk to my wife.
She doesn't look up from that switch ever.
I've got to hop on the headset to talk to her when she's right beside me.
It's just how it be sometimes.
Alright, Robbie.
I think that Tua is not 100%.
No, he's
About
66%.
66%. And LSU's defense has been playing better the last couple of weeks. And, you know, Alabama's offense or defense is pretty young because they had some older players get banged up. I'm taking LSU.
Okay. Brandon,
Yes, sir.
who you got?
I'm going to say LSU, but if they lose, it's just going to be because of LSU's young secondary.
Dang. Damn. So we're all taking
We'll probably jinxed it by doing that.
the underdogs,
I'm taking the Bayou Bengals.
and we're definitely not gonna understand anything that my man says. So I don't know when. Do y'all know when the playoffs start for NCAA Division III?
What?
Or
What
like
the fuck?
Who would know that?
whenever we get some playoff action for like D2 and FCS, I'm gonna start picking games for them as well. Just one, but
One FCS playoff game a week.
yes, and you can take your money to the bank on that one because I'll do my research on it once I figure out. I think we should never do one off the cuff again because I like having an idea of the games at least a little bit ahead. But that's all I got. You got anything else, Savannah?
Nope.
Nope.
She's done. She's not looking up from that the rest of the night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm top 20 now. This is focused on.
Okay. Well, focus on this.
I really don't have anything else to say anyways. Done talked about everything. Sorry about it.
We'll be back next week,
I think I'll just quit the pod and start dating full time.
and
You're gonna quit your job.
we'll be here to critique the top
I
fours.
never learned about teaching my teaching degree. I'm just gonna play Fortnite.
Yeah, the only Fortnite stops being cool. There's gonna be. So that's still gonna be playing it when literally no one's playing it. Alright. So you ready?